name's Chuck. Welcome to my ASMR channel. This is my cat Garfield. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and let's get into today's crazy Reddit stories. AITA for confronting my daughter's friend's mom. My daughter is 13 and her grandparents gave her $100 to put away. So at this point I am unaware this even happened. My daughter asked to go spend the night at her friend's house and I agreed. When she got home she told me about the $100 her grandparents gave her and also told me she spent it. I asked her on what. She said $50 Roblox for her and $50 for her friend. I asked her why did she do that and she said so it would be fair. Asked her how she turned the $100 into Robux. She said she gave the $100 to her friend's mom, and she got my daughter a $50 Roblox card with it, and her daughter a $50 Roblox card with it. My daughter and I had a long discussion on the way she spent her money. My daughter said that she instantly regretted doing it right after she gave her mom the money. In my mind, I am thinking, why would her mom do that? The situation was the other way around. I'd never take a 13-year-old $100 and split it between her daughter and mine for Roblox. That just wouldn't happen. So I contacted my daughter's friend's mom and said this ... Hi, my daughter's name told me about the Roblox cards the girls got yesterday. Love that she wanted to be generous, but I'm actually trying to teach her a bit more about budgeting her gift money. So I would have preferred she didn't spend it all at once. I had no idea she brought that money with her. Next time they're hanging out and want to make a big purchase, would you mind giving me a quick heads up first? I know they're just being girls, but $100 on Roblox is not something we would have allowed her to do. ... She never responded. AITA for messaging my daughter's friend's mom. AITA for telling my brother it's his fault. His wife off herself and that I don't blame his kids for hating him. I'm 23F. My older brother Brandon is 33 meters. Him and his wife had 3 kids. 13F, 12 meters, 10 meters. My brother is an active duty Marine, and him and his wife had been married for almost 15 years. They got married at 80. My brother went on a deployment last year and cheated on my sister-in-law with a female Marine. For him, he hadn't been in love with myself for years, but was trying to stick it out so he didn't lose custody of their kids. But he met his girlfriend on deployment, fell in love or whatever, and when he got back he told his wife, Jenny, that he wanted a divorce and he had cheated on her. Jenny was pretty distraught and felt like she didn't know what to do. She gave up her career to raise his kids, and they moved all around the country constantly, so she had no stability. She ended up telling the kids she loved them, and that dad was divorcing her because he got a new girlfriend, and drove to the police station and shot herself in the parking lot while the kids were in school. The kids have been devastated and blame my brother for Jenny's death. They have been pretty venomous to him, saying they wished he died instead, etc. The girlfriend broke up with him right away after Jenny died. She didn't want to get involved in his family situation. My brother reached out to me to ask me if I would try to get the kids to fix things with him, since I've always had a good relationship with him. I told him that it's literally his fault Jenny died, and he shouldn't have cheated on her. He should have given her some notice about the divorce so she could get a vocational degree or at least something so she'd have a means of supporting herself. The divorce wasn't the problem, it was the way he went about it that was. I told him that I'd be there for the kids, but I don't blame them for hating him, and that I'm not going to try to get them to change their minds, because I hate him too and think he's a monster, quite frankly. He was upset and tried to make excuses. He got our mom involved, who always babied him, and she said I'm terrible for saying the things I said. So I guess, AITA. AITAH for my ex-husband's estranged wife's apology. My ex-husband cheated on me, hurt my children, and lied about my mental health. Despite my evidence against him, he won custody, and even after a period of sole custody, people around him didn't believe him. During our marriage, he verbally and emotionally abused me and tried to make me pregnant. After he left me, he assaulted me. I called the police and was granted temporary sole custody. Despite the situation, my ex-husband was awarded 50% custody after our marriage. Now that our marriage is over, the estranged wife recently apologized for her poor treatment. However, she didn't apologize to me while she was dating my ex-husband, nor to the people who believe him. It makes me wonder if I should have accepted her apology. The children are still minors and shared custody exists. No wish for them to be influenced by their father's lies or her cruelty. Furthermore, I value my personal space and don't wish to apologize for that. It seems unfair to both parties involved. A few friends suggest I should accept her apology and move forward, as she is a victim too. However, after what she did to me, it is not easy to feel sorry for her. Our separation, I have no desire to ease her guilt or promote reconciliation, especially with my children in mind. The alternative would be to allow her to continue hurting them, which isn't right for anyone. So, what should I do? How do I protect my children and myself from this cruel reality? AITA for secretly planning to leave. My girlfriend knowing it will cause her and her kid to lose their home. 6 months ago, I moved in with my girlfriend. Right after I got there, she lost her job. But she told me a relative would cover the house payment for 2 months, and she'd get unemployment to help with bills. 2 weeks later, she said the relative backed out and her unemployment was denied. At the same time, the better job I had lined up fell through because of a medical issue. I didn't know what disqualified me. Suddenly, I was supposed to come up with $2,400 I didn't have. She accused me of lying, threatened to kick me out, and demanded I put my entire paycheck into a joint account she controlled. I had moved states for her and had nowhere else to go, so I did it. Since then, she has taken all my money. None of my bills have been paid in 6 months, and my vehicle is close to being repossessed. She only leaves me enough for gas so I can work my long shifts. Because of my commute and schedule, I'm gone about 17 hours a day. She got a work-from-home job, but it barely covers anything. Yet I'm expected to get her, almost teenage kid, off the bus every day, even though the stop is only a short walk from the house. When I overslept from exhaustion, she said she'd throw my cat outside to teach me how she feels. I sleep in a recliner in a separate room because she didn't want to get my cat used to her animals. Around Thanksgiving, I found out the alarm clock she bought me has a hidden camera in it. When I confronted her, she said it didn't matter if she told me because I couldn't be trusted to get her kid from the bus, even though she never cared about that until my shift changed. A few weeks later, she told me one of my only bills had to be paid late. But the next day, I got a repo warning. Panicking, I overdrafted my personal account to save my vehicle and told her. She screamed at me, then admitted she still had $600 of my last paycheck in her personal account because she has been transferring money out of the joint one. When I finally yelled back after asking her to stop, she got in my face like she was going to hit me. On Christmas, our families had gatherings at the same time. She never goes to mine, so I didn't think it mattered. When she found out I hadn't mentioned it, she blew up, made her kid cry, and blamed me for ruining Christmas. Later, she texted telling me not to touch the joint account. That was my breaking point. A friend offered me a place. I'm quietly moving what I can, but she's installed cameras outside and in the hallway, so I will lose some of my things. At this point, I'm just trying to get myself and my cat out safely. I know she can't afford the house without my income and her kid will lose his home. But I can't stay in a situation where I'm constantly stressed, monitored, and financially drained. AITA for leaving. AITA for telling my husband's girlfriend that I don't care what he did to her. Stop calling me. Apologies for any grammar mistakes. I'm just getting everything out fast. I know it might be very confusing. So I am still married to my husband, but he had an affair with another woman, so his mistress plus girlfriend or whatever. Up 37 F girlfriend to for F Derek 40 meters. My husband, Derek, and I have 3 kids. We've been together since middle school, grew up with each other's family. We surrounded ourselves with telling the truth even if it hurt. Communicating about anything. I realized the dead weight of my marriage. Derek stopped talking to me when I would try to speak to him. Coming home later than work, hiding his phone when I came into the room. By that time, I knew he was cheating. I just didn't have proof. I acted like everything was okay. I found out about the girl. But more stuff that made my stomach hurt was finding out that he had kids with her. A 4-year-old and pregnant with twins. Maybe I failed in life. I just blame myself because how was I this stupid? Anyways, I plan on leaving. I left on Christmas Eve at 4 a.m. with my kids to my mother's house. Some people might get at me for not staying so the kids could spend Christmas at the family house, and that's okay, but I couldn't handle it. But they had enough presents. Yes, I left, but I knew this situation would not go away easily. Derek has been trying to get in contact with me. I answered one time and told him the kids were okay, so stop calling. It's been a few days, but I'm still getting problems back to back. Somehow the mistress got my number. She sent pics of her belly, their 4-year-old daughter, but also a picture of her with a black eye that Derek caused. But the issue was that she was trying to get me to tell Derek to go see her since he hasn't been responding to her. Didn't get their child anything for Christmas, etc. What confused me was why did she feel comfortable to ask me when Derek and her had this ongoing affair, but the way she was talking about him, as if he was a hero after what he did to me and her. I can't catch a break. All the hurt and anger I've been holding in came out. I said I don't care what he did, what he's not doing, because I don't want anything to do with him. Yes, I did take screenshots and blocked her, but she's using fake numbers to get attention. AITA for giving my husband the silent treatment after he pulled a prank on me. I 38 FAM, married to my husband 39 meters, and we have a daughter 10F together. My husband and I have a ton in common, but one thing we've always disagreed on is the genre of horror. He loves it, but I hate it. My husband knows this and occasionally uses it to scare me. If we are in a pool or hot tub, he will sometimes swim up behind me and imitate the theme from Jaws, and he always pranks me on Halloween with a fake spider in the shower or some other scary prank crap. For Christmas, his cousin, who also loves horror, got him a new copy of Stephen King's, which is a book my husband loves. Fortunately, it has a creepy cover of the creepy clown grinning with blood dripping from its mouth. I told my husband that the book cover was creepy AF and that I didn't want it in a place where I or our daughter could see it. He said okay, he'd just keep it on his bookshelf in our bedroom. Fortunately, his bookshelf is right next to our bed, and if just look to where the side of the bed is, I can easily see it, and our daughter would easily be able to sneak a peek at it. I told him I wanted him to move it someplace where me and our daughter couldn't see it, and up on his bookshelf wasn't the right place. He said I was being childish and I needed to relax, but I still insisted he move it. Apparently this really pissed him off because today went to make a quick run to the store, and when I got in the car I noticed he had put the book with the creepy cover in the back seat in our daughter's booster seat. He says he put it there to make sure it would be up high enough for me to see it. It scared me bad. I confronted him about his cruel little prank and asked him why he did it. He said I was being childish and needed to loosen up, and he thought a nice prank might help. I was so mad at him and said I didn't want to talk to him anymore, and I have been giving him the silent treatment ever since. He tried to talk to me about it later, but I made it clear I wasn't going to talk to him. That's when he got very upset with me and told me I was being incredibly childish and stupid by giving him the silent treatment. Wondering if I maybe overreacted. What he did made me very upset, but he still says I'm being stupid and childish with the silent treatment. AITA. AITA for wanting to break up with my boyfriend because he is broke. For context, I-28F and my boyfriend 31M have been dating for about 8 months. When we first met, he painted an image of himself as someone who was doing very well in life and financially stable. Typically, he is not my type or the kind of guy I would usually go for. However, we met at a time when I was going through a personal problem, and he was really there for me, which made me grow very fond of him. About 2 months ago, during a trip we went on, he told me that he had just realized his savings were exhausted and that he didn't have money to pay for things on the trip. I tried to be supportive and covered all food and drinks during the 6-day trip, but I asked him to be more transparent and responsible with his finances. The situation escalated to the point where he couldn't pay his bills and had to ask his parents for help. They threw him a lifeline and things were settled for a while. Now, he's telling me again that additional expenses are coming up and that he's in a difficult situation once more. He is looking for a new job, but some of his decisions are beyond my understanding. For example, he has a leased car that he clearly cannot afford. I suggested that he get rid of it and either buy something cheaper or go without a car for now, but apparently he cannot break the contract. Aside from the financial issues, he is very caring, kind, and generous. Even when he doesn't have much money, I feel like if I needed his last dollar, he would give it to me. However, his habit of living beyond his means is starting to get me thick. He has a decent job and career for his age, but he clearly has poor spending habits. I grew up with very little and worked extremely hard to build a better life for myself and my future children, if I have any, before my current boyfriend. I was in a 5-year relationship that ended 4 years ago. That partner had no life goals and eventually no job. He was my first love, but I knew I couldn't continue the relationship because we would never have a decent life together or build the future I wanted. My current boyfriend is different in many ways. He seemed like he had his life together, he had a decent job, was ambitious, caring, and kind. However, I'm starting to doubt that now because I really don't want a relationship or a life where we are constantly worried about money. I worked far too hard to escape that kind of life. For reference, I have my own career and apartment. I have been fully supporting myself since I was 18, since learning about his financial struggles. We've mostly been splitting dates. Lately, though, this situation has made me think more and more about breaking up. I feel horrible because he truly is a nice guy in many other respects. Am I the asshole here? Am I the asshole for pushing my mother? For some context, my mother recently got fired and has been stressed recently, along with being in a poor relationship that she only makes worse. I was just relaxing in my room. I had just gone to get a package and was about to take it out of the box and set it up. Then I heard screaming outside the door. I was getting used to the screaming in the house because of how much it has been happening recently, but then she starts screaming at me too, telling me to get out of there and go upstairs. What I consider my room is technically the office, but everything in there is own, while my actual room is shared between me and my brother. I don't say anything because I'm not trying to cause another fight. But then she starts trying to break down the door because I locked her out. The door was actively breaking and the trim was coming off the wall. I got worried and adrenaline kicked in. So when I finally opened the door, I pushed her across the hall, not too hard, but she is. Also about 100 pounds and 5 feet 1. Ran upstairs before anything more happened. Am I the asshole? AITA for feeling like my GF is ungrateful in the bed. 21 feel like my GF is a bit ungrateful in the bedroom, am I wrong? My GF is 20 and on Christmas after we came home from the party, we immediately started. Mid-intimacy my GF told me to stop and that she was tired and couldn't keep going. I stopped. On Saturday we did it as well and she asked me to stop because she was tired. I did. Sunday I told her that she kept asking me to stop but she's not even thinking about the fact that I'm doing the majority of the work and I'm not tired. And she said she doesn't know why she gets tired easily but she can't help it. I said she was acting ungrateful because she always stops me. She said she was sorry but she couldn't control it. I talked to my parents and my dad said it was valid but my mom said her body probably couldn't handle everything all at once. AITA for being upset my best friend still has a leaked video of my mom. We're from a really small village of 3,000 people and back in 2020, someone leaked a video of my mom sucking his dick. It spread around and everyone saw it. I was angry and humiliated. Mom went to the police and filed charges against the guy and it basically did nothing except making the guy take down the video, but it was already so spread around that it was basically useless. My dad died unexpectedly back in 2013 and she got lonely and it was her first time dating and it has traumatized her, so she's single again and hasn't talked to anyone again. Eventually people forgot and life moved on. Last night I was out with some friends celebrating and my best friend was on his phone looking for an old funny video to show to someone and I saw my mom's video multiple times. This was on WhatsApp so he sent it multiple times and had lately watched it a lot more himself. I was fucking pissed. We had a huge fight. At first he was apologizing and saying that he didn't mean it and it's not what it looks like, but he ended up saying that yes, he's jerked off to my mom even before this and that he'd fuck the shit out of her if he could. Wanted to beat his ass but people separated us. Now people are blaming me saying I'm overreacting and they're saying that the entire village already saw and jerked off to it and that I should just get over it already since it's been years. Was I wrong to confront the bastard about this? AITA for yelling and slapping my brother over some food he ate that was supposed to be mine. I know the title sounds a bit immature and not deep, but the fight got personal. I 19F as a brother 24M, where I was craving chicken and fries. I decided to get my food delivered at home since I was lazy driving and was tired decorating the house for the new year. First I asked my mom if I wanted to order food since I was getting delivered and she said yes. Then I asked my brother and he said yes. My brother got a steak, fries, and drinks while I got chicken, fries, and drinks too. Later our food got delivered and paid since it was my treat. I called them to get their food and eat. My mom came with brother and then my mom asked me to fix the decor she accidentally broke, so I did. It took long so I didn't got to eat with them. It took me an hour or less to finish when I got back to the table and my food nowhere to be found. I asked my mom and she said she left at the table and told her there's nothing when my brother came out of the bathroom and said, "Oh, MB, I ate your chicken, it looked good." This guy wanted revenge, but I screamed at him because he ate everything. He said that he needed it because he was a man, and that man needs a lot of food and told him that's not a valid excuse because it was my food, and then he said I was selfish and didn't need that food anyway since I'm fat then. I told him he needs to pay me back and he ended up saying that I have no self-respect for myself, that I showed my body to a boy who cheated on me. I slapped him and said that this matter wasn't related to my past mistake but him touching someone else's food and was just asking him to pay me back. Proceeded to say if he was a cheap, big-ass bitch that didn't want to pay me back, he could have just said so. My mom witnessed the fight, and she didn't want to side but comforted me because she knew I was right from the beginning and was even disappointed at my brother for going that low. But now his GF is calling me and saying I should go apologize to my big brother. Why now doesn't see his big brother after what he just did and saying that I should know that my brother has always been like that and should have gone used to it since I'm his sister. I said no, then blocked her socials and his because after the fight, he packed his bags and moved to his GF's place for a while. It has been 3 days since this happened and I'm starting to overthink it. So AITA for falsely asked someone of SA because he wouldn't quit bullying me. Had the school done something about the countless amounts of bullying I faced, I wouldn't have used such a tactic. I'd be shoved in the halls and punched in the stomach for no reason, and when I told the principal, I was told there was nothing they could really do but to avoid him. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. So everyone at school has lunch. Together one lunch. We have an hour lunch to do whatever we want. I told myself if he came around me, I'd embarrass him. I got my wish he was there. I told him to leave me alone and he kept cornering me. So I yelled out, "Stop touching my penis." I told you I don't liked it. I pretended to cry and everyone turned to see the incident. I pretended to cry and run away into the crowd to make it even worse for him. Like what happened after, but I know he switched schools after a few days. AITA for slapping back my girlfriend to make a point. We lived together in a relationship since 2 years. Yesterday, we had a heated argument over something and then she slapped me. It was not a light one. No one has ever slapped me that hard before. It was the first time someone initiated violence in our relationship. I was totally stunned. She knew she did something horrible but shifted to victim mode by saying that I stressed her so much that she involuntarily did it. Although the slap was enough, her behavior posted made it 10x worse. I expected a serious apology even after the slap, but she proved me wrong immediately. Then she said that I should have stopped arguing by sensing her anger today. That was the breaking point for me, and I immediately slapped her with the same power proportion and said that she just failed to sense my anger too. How does it feel? She immediately broke into tears, locked the bedroom, but I'm fully enraged. She's the one who started it and then didn't even have the decency to apologize. Instead, victim blamed me. I've seen a lot of movies with super abusive husbands of 1950s. Even they had the decency to immediately apologize after hitting their partner. AITA for telling my GF to stop moaning very sexually while getting a massage from her brother. So, I'm 28 and my GF 25F, and we were at the Christmas dinner table with her family. Her family is touchy, they do a lot of hugs and I don't mind that. But one thing I do mind is the fact that when we talk sometimes, her brother comes behind her without saying anything and starts massaging her on her neck. She has long hair, so he moves her hair to better grip her neck, and I swear that to me it looks like the beginning of a porno. He only massages her neck and a bit of back. Now the thing is, this bothered me a bit, but not that much, so I let it slip for some time now. Yesterday we were at the Christmas table with her family. We were about 10 people. Her brother gets up, comes next to us, and starts massaging her. Then my GF starts moaning really loud, just like she does in bed. I didn't tell them right there anything, because I didn't want to ruin the Christmas table. And also people were acting like this is fucking normal. After the dinner I jokingly talked about this and told her that I do not like this at all. Feels like they are sexually attracted. She said I am overreacting and that I should stop. I also told her that I would do this with my sister in front of her so she can see how fucked up it is, but she doesn't want to hear about it. I am not allowed to do this with my sister because it is weird. AITA for telling her to stop moaning loudly while getting massaged by her brother. Goddamn Reddit, this feels so weird to write. Calling other guys good looking. Me and my ex have been together for 3 months, and one day he told me he's getting a buzz cut obviously. Made a fuss about it cause his hair is his best feature, but I am not shallow enough to break up with him over such a silly matter. Later on I blocked him as a joke but went to sleep in 5 hours. Past I came back and unblocked him and he would not talk to me. The next day he says let's break up and it came off as a shock. Cause why would someone break up over such a small issue? He then told me that I kept calling other guys attractive, which I did do, but I didn't know it was affecting him, so I told him he could have told me if something was bothering him, as he was the one who kept stressing on proper communication. There's another thing that he did which was wrong, that is he called another girl pretty and it didn't bother me at all just cause he's dating me. I don't expect him to stop finding other girls attractive, but different people have different ideas, I guess, and in the past he once sent a picture of the first hickey I gave him to his ex, which is insane, and I really thought he'd have an explanation, so I brought it up with him instead of breaking it off. He was in contact with her throughout our relationship, and I knew they were just friends or whatever, but after we broke up he told people. I always talked about other guys, and like a week after we broke up he posted with his ex and this other girl that liked him. He even asked our mutual friends if that's a shitty thing to do and proceeded, even though they said yes. So am I the whole? I sent my ex to a mental hospital. My 25 female and my ex 26 female were dating since college. We would just call my ex Chloe for reasons. Chloe has experienced mental health problems in the past and has always been open about them and went to the appropriate appointments and meetings. I recently started to show discomfort and distress when around our pets, but slowly it started to spread to her friends and family. I had tried to address this with her, which I have done before, and she completely lashed out at me and left the apartment that we shared. I was worried for her, so I tried to call some people that I know that could help her when she appeared back at the apartment. Week had passed and I had tried to contact Chloe, but I got nothing back. I eventually called the cops because nobody had heard anything from her. Cops eventually found her staying at an old friend's apartment. Chloe came back home and she was in the worst mental situation I had ever seen her in. She told me she wasn't sober anymore and that she had tried to hook up with her old friends. All of this was nothing like the healthy girl I had known before. I tried for a couple of days to convince her that she needed to get some help from professionals and that the drugs were not helping her. She yet again lashed out on me and tried to beat me. I called the cops on her after I had locked myself in the bathroom. After they detained Chloe, I requested for Chloe to be moved to a mental hospital for her to seek treatment from professionals. I visited her once in the hospital and she requested that we broke up. I have not seen her since, but I have been reached out to by some friends, saying that she is doing much better. Chloe now resents me and hates my guts. All I tried to do was get her the help she needed, but AITA for considering divorce after my wife had internet sex with the potential township scammer. For context, my 44F, wife and me 44 meters have been together. 28 years high school sweethearts and married for almost 20. Over the past year, she has been acting distant and odd, and when she get drunk goes off on me for a variety of grievances. I have been doing all kinds of things to figure it out, helping out more around the house, with her kid, going to therapy, etc. While I was tossing and turning last night, something clicked, and I got the idea to check her phone. Betrayal of privacy, I know, but I'm at my what's in here text notes. etc. all seem normal until I check her FB Messenger and see this Rondo in there with a long history. I check the thread and it all seems normal until I see one comment that is a little odd. Then I scroll back and she's been having super long, detailed raunchy fuck sessions with this guy. When I confronted her about it at first she lied, then when shown the evidence was upset. I went through her phone, then gave a half-hearted apology. She said it wasn't cheating because she didn't actually do anything. Although in the chat, she was actively saying she wishes he was actually there. etc. I feel it's 1000% cheating, no doubt. AITA. AITA for accusing my granddad of sexual assault. Without really knowing the full story, my grandmother, who has now passed away, had dementia since 73. She also later got ovarian cancer, underwent chemo and had surgery in the area. The surgery was so bad she had a colostomy bag. She genuinely oscillated between not knowing who, where she was and being pretty paranoid about certain things. Her paranoia even went as far as to accuse my grandpa of hitting her throughout their marriage. My grandpa is a real stand-up guy, ex-military Christian, very respected in the community, so I'm honestly not sure about whether the validity of the claims. My mom told me that when my grandma was in the hospital, they asked my grandpa if she had had intercourse in the last 3 months. He replied yes. This was after her mental state had been extremely deteriorated, and he vagina just had surgery. Everyone in my family just writes it off and think it's fine. Am I crazy for thinking this was really gross? AITA for getting into a physical fight with my sister over a charger adapter. So I 16F and my sister 28F were in a bad state of relationship due to prior conflicts and are having anger and behavioral issues. I was on call with my ex-boyfriend watching videos on YouTube when she suddenly started banging on my door demanding me to give back her charger head adapter. I responded by saying, "This is mine. I'm using it to charge my laptop RN." And she responded by telling me to give her my adapter so she can charge hers instead. I said no and she can find hers elsewhere because I'm using it, and she absolutely loses it and starts demanding it some more again. I ended up losing my temper, grabbing my adapter, opening my door, and tossing the charger block at her. It didn't hit her. I just tossed it on the floor next to her. She got so pissed off she started banging on my door rapidly and tried opening it after I locked it. My guardian started pleading for me to just open the door, so I did, and she ended up charging at me. I ended up getting into my instincts and I fought back by grabbing her hair. I was screaming at her that she was a horrible person and that everyone in the house didn't like her because of how she acted. She responded to me by saying nobody likes me. At least I love myself. I DC if anyone has a problem with me. You're crazy and you deserve to be locked up somewhere because of that. She brought up my mental health, which I have depression and self-harm. So it kinda made me feel like shit. After the whole thing, my mom found out and ended up telling me I was in the wrong and apologized. Because I was the younger sister. AITAH. Should I apologize to her? My boyfriend had an accident during sex. Me F18 and my boyfriend M19 have been dating for a few months. The other night we went out to eat, and we both for the most part felt fine afterwards. When we got home, he said his stomach started to hurt a little, but we both didn't think much of it. We ended up having sex when all of a sudden his stomach started rumbling loudly. I asked if he wanted to stop, but he insisted it was fine. Shortly after that, he just said oh, and the room started to reek of shit. He shit himself. Diarrhea was all over the bed. After that, I got up and left and sent him a text saying we had to break up because of how disgusted I was. He says I'm an asshole for breaking up with him over something like this, but I don't think I could ever see him the same after that. AITA.